Welcome to History and Future of Mostly Higher Education. Hi, welcome back. We're going to be continuing our interviews with various people on the history and future of higher education with my friend Camila, Alire, who is the former head of the American Library Association, Dean Emerita, and a great advocate and has passionate interest in especially reading, library services for the Latino community and Latina community, as well as interesting ideas about emotional intelligence. And we'll be talking about all of those in the next few minutes. First, thank you so much for being here. It's just wonderful that you're taking time to do this.
My pleasure, Kathy, and thank you for the invitation to be involved in this.
Tell us about what you're doing in terms of Latino and Latina library services and outreach.
Well, it's a real important area when you think about the changing demographics in this country. And one of the things that we want to make sure is that particular segment of the population in many of our communities understand and develop lifelong learning skills. And the best way to do that is to know how to use their public library. We want Latino students in the university to be able to know how to use the academic library very effectively. And the same thing with school children.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's a resource that I think we sometimes take it for granted in America, but It's such a vital resource. And in interviewing people, we found several people who said that one book changed their life.
Exactly.
One book they found made a huge difference in their lives.
Exactly. In fact, when you talk to Latinos who are library users, they can usually point to a person that made it really relevant for them to understand and to use libraries.
What do you think is the relationship between libraries and education in general?
Well, I don't think you can have one without the other. And it doesn't matter what level, whether it's K through 12 or if it's in higher education. Libraries are there to support the curriculum and to support the faculty who are teaching the courses, to support the researchers who are developing the new knowledge, and also to support the students to be successful as students, in that particular environment.
I remember the day as a child they started letting me read adult books at the library. Not just the kid picture books, but actual real adult books. I happened to read early, and the librarian bestowed that on me like it was this huge gift, and it was like a transit into a new world.
I remember my first adult book, and it was Theodore Dreiser's An American Tragedy.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
I would love to be able to get my students to read it.
Yes, but it was fascinating, and of course there were some things that happened to the female in that was kind of interesting, being a junior high school student.
Yeah, and suddenly you realize, all these things adults are keeping from me. I guess I better pay attention.
Right.
What about higher education? Why is higher education important in 2013, 2014?
I firmly believe that it plays an important role in not only in our country, in our society, but around the world. I think we have teachers that do a really good job in K through 12, but when students are ready then to move on to the next level, and where they might have an inclination of what they want to major in, and they might not. But when they get into that higher education environment, if you have good professors and good learning experiences with the professor, but also with other students, I think that's so valuable.
One thing we're trying to do, this is of course an online course, and we're going to be having tens of thousands of students from all around the world. There's no prerequisites. So some of the students might be 12 years old, and others might be 90 years old.
Right.
And we're trying to make learning communities happen online, where people can actually share their experiences online and get some of that sense of what you get in face-to-face education. It seems so important to have mentors and teachers, and that leads me to the key question that we ask everybody. you have a favorite teacher or teachers? And if so, who were they, and how have they made a difference in your life, and what kinds of lessons from them do you carry in your life?
Well, I think I would have to say that I had two favorite teachers. The first one was my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Whiteside. And she was absolutely wonderful. I love the idea that she really fostered creativity. I remember that she allowed me to write the screenplay for Cinderella
In fourth grade?
in fourth grade, and it was just a delight. And she was so supportive. When growing up, being the youngest of five, I kind of got a sense that I was special, but she was the first teacher, which was the fourth grade, that really made me feel that way, but she also made everybody else in the class. So she was a delight. Then, the second person was not necessarily my favorite teacher. I only had her one time, but she was the department chair of the history department, and I was a history major. And she was the one that actually, where critical thinking skills clicked. Because when I was a history major in my undergraduate program, it was about reading the text, reading the other side readings, going to class, listening to the lectures, taking notes, and then memorizing and taking the tests, and then doing papers as we got further on. But I took her, she was the last class I took, and it was Jeffersonian and Jacksonian democracy. And she was the chair of the department, and everybody was afraid of her. And when you take a test, if you've memorized and they ask everything that you memorized, you ace the test. Well, she had these thought-provoking questions, 4 of them, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to flunk this test. So then I started thinking about the question, and I started responding, and it wasn't for memory, it was like, think about this. And I walked out of there and thought I flunked that test. And I got an A on the test, and that was when I had the aha moment about critical thinking. She made me think. It was just amazing.
And we know that's a skill you use all the time,
Absolutely.
Right? It's one of the methods we're using in this Coursera class is adopted from medical school training, which is see one, do one, teach one.
Yeah.
And then we've added, because we're online, we've added and share one.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so you first the facts aren't the important part. It's being able to use the facts. And your fourth grade teacher did the same thing, and having you actually write a screenplay about Cinderella.
Yes. Oh, I said screenplay. It was actually writing the script for a play. We pretended it was a screenplay.
Did you put the play on?
We did.
Oh,
we did.
Did you play Cinderella?
I most certainly did. I wrote the script. I was Cinderella.
That's perfect. I know people are going to be inspired by your story.
Oh, I hope so.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all you do in our world.
My pleasure, Kathy. Thank you.